Hey everyone, I wanted to do a quick demo today to make sure that everybody understands the idea of looping animation and how it's done. This can be done in Adobe Animate or it can be done here in Photoshop. I'm going to show you in Photoshop just to get the concept down and make sure that everybody knows how to animate in Photoshop. This is one option of a way to animate. So first off, I'm going to start by opening up the timeline. You can do that by going to Window, sorry, I had quick timeline. Window and Timeline. And you can see I already have some animation here, which I'll show you in a minute. But I just wanna show you options with the timeline. Let's try and pull this down. Here we go. So what we can do first is go to Layer, Video Layers, New Blank Video Layer. And that puts a new video layer right down here, this one. And this is better than just using regular layers because it's going to keep your timeline compact and organized. If I just add a normal layer, we see it creates this right here. And I'm using this one layer as an entire frame, so I have to shorten it down. And then for my second frame, I would hit the layer button again. And here's my second frame. And then so on and so forth. And that's why it's tedious and gets kind of messy sometimes animating in Photoshop whenever you're using layers. But if you're using video layers, this layer right here that I have on top, it's going to keep all of my frames in this one stack. And I'll show you how it does that. So let's make sure our frames per second is what we want. We can hit this button over here and set timeline frame rate, and it's 12 frames per second. That's what I want. So let's also turn on onion skin, enable onion skins, and I'm gonna draw my first frame. Let's do 8. Let's do black. And now when I move to my next frame, you'll see the opacity went down. This is the onion skin. So I can make a second frame. Move forward. And I can just continue to do that over and over. I'll drag this playhead back to the beginning and I can tell it to loop playback right here. So if I play this and turn off the onion skin, we see I have my circle. So that's the idea of using video layers in Animate. And it's really great, provides more organization. If I wanted for some reason to duplicate this and loop it, I could say duplicate layer, and I could drag this down and put it on my same layer. So you can organize your video groups as well. You see when I dragged it down and I put it on the same layer, it made a video group, which is great. So I want to talk to you about looping. I'm gonna just delete the content that I made because we don't need it. I already went ahead and I made some animations, and you can tell by the length that I have here how long each one is. So this one down below, I made an animation that lasts for 10 seconds. I'm sorry, 10 frames. So we can count And I like to count starting at 0, 0, makes it easier. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then when I move to the next one, 1, it starts back over. So I just have this little rainbow that's happening. But my top animation, I made it last for 25 frames. And when we're creating loops, it's nice to have different layers that are operating on different lengths, and so that when it repeats itself, it's not looking the same every time. So you can see here, my bottom layer starts to repeat itself, but my top layer is still doing something unique to itself. And it cuts right here in the middle. The top layer ends in the middle of the bottom layer the third time that it repeats. And so if we were to have this loop, and let's say we had it here, we had the loop start over right here, it's not going to look correct. The bottom one looks correct because we're playing the entire loop, but the top one's not. Same thing here. If we were to have this right here, if we were to have the top one loop correctly, the bottom one is not looping correctly. So what it comes down to is what's the common number that both of these numbers fit into. So I have 10 and I have 25. So the first number is 50. We repeat the top layer, we repeat that 2 times, and we repeat the bottom layer 5 times. And that's how long you know your loop is going to last. Whatever is the common denominator. So oftentimes I like to work in numbers that are divisible by 2, like 8, 16, 32, all of those are really good. But I mean, it's pretty simple just in thinking like, okay, well, what is the number that both of them equal, the lowest number that both of them equal? And so here we have this nice loop, and we have to render out this whole amount of time, which is almost just a little over 4 seconds. Our render that we would create would need to be at least 4 seconds in order to loop it properly. So I'm going to show you as well how to make this into a GIF. This is how I've been doing it for a while. There's other ways as well, but if you want to do it straight from Photoshop, you can go to File, Export, Save for Web, and I don't mess with this a lot, but it is good to see down here the file size, and changing some of this, it will adjust this. Of course, the more information, the worse it is for the GIF. We want this number to be pretty small. And we can hit save to see where it's going to save. I'll save it on my desktop. And we're done. So now if I go to Safari and I put my GIF in here, it plays. And it loops over and over. So I hope that makes sense with the loops and that you can apply it to your doodles. If you have a question about this, please make sure that you contact me. I'm happy to help assist you in whatever you need. So thanks guys, and keep on working.